Nathaniel Crawford here. I am the broker for Black Luxury Realty here in sunny South Florida, helping you achieve your real estate goals with the luxury culture method. So today I want to share some tips with you. Occasionally there are times where people have to leave the magnificence of sunny South Florida. So maybe you get a better job offer, your life situation changes, just changes in life happens, and you have to leave. What I want to share with you today is a couple tips, a couple things to be mindful of if you have to sell your home and move out of state. Okay, so tip number one is you want to price accordingly, right? You want to make sure that you are priced in a way that is maximizing your value but also maximizing activity, so that you're not setting yourself up for a long listing process because you price too high. But you also don't want to price too low and leave money on the table. All right, so that's tip number one. Tip number two is to help you with tip number one: get a good real estate agent. If you have a good real estate agent, then pricing is very easy. Why? Because real estate agents are, at least good ones, are pricing experts. They know the market. They know where you need to be to achieve your real estate goals. So tip number two, get a good real estate agent. Tip number one, price appropriately. Tip number one, price appropriately. Number two, get a good real estate agent. Number three, you want to make sure that you have your terms. You want to be flexible on closing date. So when you're negotiating offers, you want to make sure you're working with someone who is flexible on that closing date, because you may need some flexibility on that closing date because of your closing situation. Because you may be working on trying to get your relocation in place, but if your housing in your new place changes or fluctuates, that can change your calculus for your moving situation. All right, and on top of wanting flexible terms, which leads to the next point. Next point is that you would want to be able to consider, or you may want to consider, a leaseback. And if you're not familiar with a leaseback, but basically what a leaseback is when you sell your home, but you lease it back for a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day period. So you still may need some flexibility in there if you're relocating, right? So you don't want to be stuck in a position where you've sold your home, but your new home in your new state isn't ready, or your new living situation isn't quite firmed up. So you want to be able to have some flexibility there, which leads to my next point. You want to make sure that your housing situation in wherever you're relocating to is something that you're working on, or something that you've already addressed, right? You want to make sure that you're not making yourself homeless by selling a home and then you don't know where you're gonna go. All right, so those are my tips for you today if you are considering relocating outside the state of Florida. So if you want to sell a home here and you're moving somewhere else, make sure you price appropriately. Make sure you work with a really good real estate agent. That real estate agent could probably help you, or should be able to help you with locating a good real estate professional in wherever you're moving to as well, right? So price appropriately. Make sure that you have a good real estate professional. Make sure that you work on flexible terms for closing dates and things like that. Consider a lease back, which could be very, very powerful. And make sure that you have your living situation addressed in the city that you're moving to. All right, so those are my tips for today. If you're considering, well, the ferry's coming. If you are considering moving to or from Florida, my name is Nathaniel Crawford. I am the broker with Black Luxury Realty, and I am here to help you achieve your real estate goals. Let's talk.